Hey, it's time for a drink. Coco Village. Beef. Praise. Peace, starlings, for an elder is among us. I'm so lonely. I'm so sad, and I'm so lonely, and I'm sad and lonely at the same time. How's it going? Hopefully you're doing better than I am, because I'm sad and lonely. Hey, everybody. No Flynn today. No Flynn today, which is the saddest thing that's ever happened in the history of this entire stream, and I'm very sorry about that. But it is because he is at the vet. He's at the old doctor getting his heart looked at. And I actually already heard back, but I can't pick him up yet. So we'll see. I'm going to go get him when I can. But yeah, unclear how long this stream will last, given that I might need to go grab a dog at some point. But yeah, Flynn is at the vet. He last time at his like checkup, he they took his blood. They looked inside of his body, and they found blood. And when they looked at his blood, there was some potential sign of potential heart disease. And I took him in, and he is doing like a full cardio workup. They took a look. They did X-rays. They did like an EKG. They're waiting. They're gonna like send off the results to some lab somewhere so that people can do science on my dog and figure out whether or not he's actually the reincarnation of Christ. I doubt that's going to come back positive, but they got to check his heart, make sure everything's okay. As far as I know, this morning the doctor said that there's like ever so slightly some enlargement, but you know, we're catching it now, so hopefully the worst case is that we just put him on some medicine and he'll be okay. But he has been showing like no signs of really any like illness, aside from standard dog stuff like being a snooze boy and throwing up sometimes, and that's basically it. So I'm not super worried, but of course, like, you know, trying my best to just not psych myself out. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm a bit on the tired side, and I'm a bit on the no dog side. I want dogs, says Ada Scout. I'm very sorry because I don't have dog. But Cotton Candy says, can you put a picture of Flynn over the screen to tide us over? I can do that for you. Let me do that. Photos. Let's see. Oh, good. Oh, perfect. Okay, hold on. Oh, that works. Oh, shit. That just worked. Okay. So there. How's that? I can't believe that worked. That's awesome. That's so nice. I just dragged a photo from the Photos app into OBS, and it just dropped it into OBS. That's nice. That's genuinely useful. Cool. Great. Well, now we've got the dog cam. So, you know, it's a very realistic camera. He's just very good at holding that pose in perpetuity. So, I love the surprise when something just works. Yeah, like that was an instance of it just working. I did not expect that to work at all, because it was like the Mac OS Photos app. Not like, that wasn't even me dragging a file into OBS. That was dragging from the Photos app into OBS. So I'm very surprised that worked at all, because usually you have to like export out of the Photos app. Let me say hello to folks. Let me also say Weedy Potter 7 minutes ago subscribed for 15 months. Thank you so much. Let's see who's here. Let's see who is here. Hello to Ada Scout, Weedy Potter, Fire Drops, Mike, Ollie, Cotton Candy, Cartoon Mortal, Former Future Frog, Informal Goblin, Lucifer's Ace BF, Local Celebrity, Sammy Marie, Queen Coco, Etane, and Paige May. What's up? And Tree Fox. Right in the last second, right under the wire. How is it going, everybody? Ooh, nice color spin. Oh, we did good. I really need to get that thing where we can like save and replicate color spins. Maybe I'll like build that on stream either today or at some point. So, dear Lord, I am tired. I have not been sleeping well recently. I don't know what's going on. Well, I know what's going on. It's my typical insomnia bullshit, but working on that. And so while yesterday was intended to be, I was so excited. Yesterday was going to be like a flurry cleaning and rejiggering of my studio space, and that didn't happen at all, and I'm very sad. Like, I wanted to go through, I have so much crap to tidy up in here, but given that I'm now streaming on a different computer, I can now like reorient my whole desk setup, and I am a slut for reworking my desk setup. Let's be real. Like, I would spend so much time just tweaking my desk setup and not being productive. I'm the same way with basically everything. I would rather put more energy and focus into making something tidy and organized and have a system rather than actually use the tidy, organized system that I've created to then make things. It is a fatal flaw, and I'm pretty sure it's just ADHD, but I'm not 100% on that one. Ada Scout says, my sleepy drugs have been making me wake up with hot flashes, so I am with you there. Yeah, I keep waking up at like 2 and not being able to fall back asleep. And so I just like, I really, really hate that shit, because it's like, okay, I can still get back to sleep, and then an hour passes. It's like, okay, I can still reasonably get some sleep and maybe be fine tomorrow. Then another hour passes, and it's like, okay, if I get to sleep now, I will maybe be mostly just a little delirious tomorrow. And then with every passing hour, it's just like, I give up. This is infinitely relatable. The desk thing, not the hot flashes. What, you're not dealing with hot flashes? You're not either taking sleepy meds and or going through menopause? Sounds like a skill issue. All the coolest people are going through menopause. Has stuff that normally helps stopped helping? It's not, well, sometimes, kind of. I'm assuming that you're avoiding talking or saying the W word, which is dank gonzo. The dank gonzo. Gonzo's a Muppet, right? He definitely smokes weed. Anyway, it depends on the strain. Sometimes I change to a different strain and it just completely falls flat. And this is genuinely an issue with, like, okay, so medical cannabis is genuinely great. Like, it really, really, really helps people with certain problems that a lot of like popular medications or readily available medications either can't help with or aren't all that effective at, or have a ton of side effects that are way worse than the side effects of cannabis. But in order to effectively use it, you actually do need to pay attention to like what you're having. You don't just get, like, medical cannabis isn't just go get blitzed and then you're fine. Like, that's not really how it works. There are like chemical components to the strain that have different impacts on your body, and so like there are certain chemicals that you want to look for. Like, usually a reputable place will have a breakdown of the terpenes in the mixture or whatever, and you want to look through that for relevant components. And so like I will try to find strains that have the right stuff in them in order for me to actually get sleepy and stay asleep and get some rest. But unfortunately, because it's all still federally illegal, there are just like garbage supply chains. Like all the supply chains are really temperamental. And so it's very unlikely that I'll get a consistent supply of one thing that consistently works. And I will otherwise just have to like bounce around. And sometimes I just pick one that I hope is going to work and it doesn't. So it's obnoxious and it shouldn't be illegal. Hexaturtle, thank you for the follow. Names Bond, thank you for the sub. That's another 15 months. Says, hi guys, sending lots of love to all of you. Well, thank you. Thank you. Local celebrity says, do you have a fancy convertible desk? And if so, which? I do. In fact, let's ride the roller coaster and then I'll tell you all about it. Please keep your hands, feet, ears, eyes, head, shoulders, knees, and toes inside the vehicle at all times as we ride the roller coaster. Wee! Yeah, it's a Jarvis desk, which is too expensive and fine. They're not bad. Let me pull up the old Stream Vault. One moment. Excuse me. Where is... Oh, I'm just dumb. Okay, hold on. All right. That didn't work. Why are you like this? Why are you like this? Obsidian. There we go. I need to figure out how to make that work every time. The problem that I'm having right now is when I close an application, it seems to like application. Okay, let me back up. App video capturing on OBS on Mac is about as busted as I expected it to be. And so you're going to have to deal with me on that while I figure all that out. But let's pull up. What was it pulling up? Somebody asked me about, Jarvis, my desk. Jarvis standing desk. Wait, Herman Miller bought Jarvis? No. It's by Fully. Oh, I guess Herman Miller bought Fully. All right. Well, Herman Miller bought Fully, but it's this. Yeah. Yeah. I might be about to break everything. We'll see. Did it work? Am I still here? I just changed my network while streaming. Hopefully it works. Respectfully, I'd need a wider desk. Says fun, predictable. Well, how much wider? And why? And you can get it wider. So you can get, oh, wait. Yeah, you can get the 30 by 72. Do it. Anyway, don't do it. This is like a fucking $1,000. I have this desk. I have multiple of this desk because fucking, yeah, don't get $1,000 standing desk. It's not necessary. They make cheaper ones that do the same thing. And you can also just get like a convertible topper or whatever. This is like so overpriced now, especially because I guess Herman Miller is going to jack up the price as well. But I have this desk because of office stipends from the Panini. So during the pandemic, I worked at 2 different remote job tech companies, both of which had a perk where when you onboard, they give you like a stipend to deck out your home office with like comfortable stuff. So I got like 2 offices worth of office materials because it was a use it or lose it benefit. So I have the desk that I just showed you, and then the super fancy monitor and some nice headphones I think I got from all the stipends. So it was a nice little loophole that I found for myself. I'm not gonna lie. It was a good way to spend company money on making my office nicer, I will say. I paid way too much for my uplift and I do not regret it. It's a good desk. I just don't know that it's a great desk.
Hello.
You know? I don't like it doesn't do any it exists and it goes up and down. And like that's kind of all I need it to do, but it has like no storage, like any kind of add-ons are add-ons. There's no like built-in cubbies for like stashing cables or anything like that. It's literally just a piece of flat top with adjustable legs and a motor. Like that's it. I've seen standing desks that have like a bit of a thicker desktop so that they can have like divots in them so that you can like move your like inlay all your cables and stuff to have a cleaner look. And I think I would like that actually. Never mind. Dev is right. I would need greater than 69 inch and 72 inch would be perfect. Praise Dev. I'm always right. I've never been wrong about literally anything. Name says, I thought the photo was Flynn was actually a cam. He's just really good at holding his own face like that forever. And it is a live video feed, actually. That's him at the vet right now. They just got him on the good stuff. My mom bought a Cobalt work table with a hand crank, with a hand crank height adjustment, and end arounded the standing desk. Oh, wait, what? Adjustment and arounded this. Tree Fox, I'm giving up on this one. I'm so sorry. I think you're saying that your mom made a custom sitting standing table for $300. I think that's what that's saying. For some reason, I cannot read. I don't know what's going on right now. Good afternoon, Captain. Hello. Says let me know if you are hiring. First of all, thank you for the follow. Also, BriarCloud613, thank you for the follow. Also, I am not hiring. That's not true. I'm probably going to be hiring soon. I'm probably going to be posting a wanted ad for an editor in the next few weeks. I was planning on doing that Tuesday. But here's the thing. I didn't. So I'll do that at some point. She did an end around to the steep pricing. What is an end around? I think that's the issue here, is I don't know what an end around is. She did an end around to the steep pricing. I don't know what that means. I've never seen this like turn of phrase before. Weedy Potter says, Flynn made a funny face and it stuck, just like when we were all told that it would happen as kids. It's a football move. She dodged it. Oh, okay. You say football. Are you talking American football or like European football / soccer? It's not gonna matter. American football. Okay. I wouldn't know if it was a term from either because I don't watch either of those sports. Oh man. Here's the thing about football, about American football, is it's actually pretty fucking hype, I will say. It took me a long time to understand what the hell was happening and why it's so boring. It's boring. To be clear, it's boring. But it's boring and hype. It's boring until it's hype. More so than I would say, in my opinion, well, baseball is pretty hype too when a play happens. But it's like you're sitting around, and I feel like when you don't know what the fuck American football is, you're just like, why are these guys just like standing around getting in a line every once in a while and then like beating the shit out of each other? Like it doesn't really seem very interesting. But the second that I learned like what the fuck a down is, I was like, oh, I actually get, okay, so it's a game and I get the point now. And now I kind of actually am vibing with this. So like I can watch it for a bit. I can't watch it for a whole game. It goes on way too goddamn long. There should be like one quarter, which it wouldn't be a quarter. It would just be a whole. But still, I get so fucking bored really quickly. But the notion that it's like you have 4 chances to move the ball at least this distance, otherwise the other team gets it. That's interesting. That's genuinely an interesting concept for a game, right? Like it's like a reverse tug of war. It's a push of war. I gotta move this thing past a defensive line a certain distance, and I only have so many tries. That's neat. I like that. As soon as you understood the math, you enjoyed it. The basic rules, I think. Like I knew that like a down, I knew the term like 4th down, that's a big deal, but I didn't realize that like a down just meant an attempt, and you reset your attempt count. You extend the length of your turn if you're able to like get a certain distance. And so it's like, okay, yeah, so this is starting to come into view, and I understand like at a tactical level that they're trying to figure out what pattern to do to get past. Like obviously, this is what the fuck a sport is, right? I'm describing that a sport is fun when you know the rules. But like the issue that I've got with football remains, it's not fun to watch. It's fun to theorize and understand, but it's not fun to watch. Maybe a drink in hand that doesn't cost $20. Yeah, I think I like going to sports games. They're all too long. I don't care by the end. And like, I enjoy the shitty food and the shitty drink and all the shitty things and getting shitty. But I get really bored by the end. Like, really bored by the end. I love learning rules and laws so I know how to go around them, etc. It's fun to watch when you're with friends, but the friends are definitely the most fun part. I mean, yeah, like going out to see a game by yourself, and I mean, if you're a big fan of the sport, great. But yeah, having more people there is what makes it actually fun in the first place. But yeah, I don't know. I have like no team loyalty, no real sport that I lean towards. I really don't know. Yeah. I just like don't think about that. I just don't have the time to think about it right now. The most liberating thing about the pandemic for me was accepting that I'm not a sports boy, and instead of and letting go instead of trying to be one for social norms. Yeah, I mean, like, I definitely used to be the like, oh, sports are dumb, everybody's like trying to be contrarian about it. I saw a few sports balls get posted in chat, and I'm doing my best to not comment on that. But like at this point, it's just I get it. Like I get it. It's just not for me, but I get it. I see what value people are getting from engaging with these things, having a community, having something to look forward to, having stories to tell, having a shared topic to discuss. It's the same thing that you know nerds do with like video game releases and big moments from streamers and all that kind of shit. So it's the same thing. So I get it, and I don't like bemoan people for enjoying sports, but I mostly just don't. I don't live my life in a way that watching sports would fit into it. Which isn't a way. It's not me saying that like I'm amazing and too alpha to watch sports. It's just me saying like I don't really have moments in my life where I sit down and watch TV for extended periods of time. Firedrop says, as an ex-band kid who was required to go to long, freezing cold games, yes, all games are too long. Yeah, I wouldn't. Oh my god, I would be miserable in a marching band. Sports fans love to cosplay. They all gotta get the jerseys. Jerseys are sick though, I will say. Jerseys are rad. It's just fandom and good for the people that like that. Yeah, everything is a fandom. I've been wanting to make a video about this again. A really early video I made on TikTok was just like the
hey, what? Wait. Look who just subscribed.
Everything is a fandom. Everything is a religion, fandom. All cults, fandoms. Municipalities, basically just a location-based fandom. Everything is a fandom. And once you realize that, the world makes a lot more sense. Especially with religion. Especially with, like, political views. Like, politics have been turned into fandoms, right? Think about what it would take for someone, this is serious, think about what it would take for someone to convince you to stop liking a thing that you are, like, full on in the fandom for. Like, you are full on a fan of a given entertainment franchise or what have you. And yes, that's very different from your moral beliefs and political outlook, but to many people, it is not different in terms of the actual depth of mental investment. So imagine what it would take for someone to convince you to stop caring about a fandom that you care about basically more than anything, that gives you an identity. When you acknowledge that everybody is in a fandom of some kind at that level, that's when you realize, like, oh, making like a logical argument against somebody is not how you convince them to change their ways. I'm unapologetically deep into the Chicago fandom. Chicago scene, they've got a bean, as far as I've heard. Sonic the Hedgehog. That's the fandom. The top fandom. That's not true. A lot of Harry Potter fans had to confront that directly, and a lot more Harry Potter fans haven't confronted that directly. Like, Harry Potter, I don't mean to undermine anyone who's been like actively trying to push back on like Harry Potter stuff, and of course J.K. Rowling is an egregious, abhorrent ghoul, but at the same time, it is very short-sighted and self-centered to think that the Harry Potter franchise is struggling right now. Like, not anywhere near a critical mass of people are pushing back on Harry Potter. Like, enough people that it's a problem for them are, but it's still gonna make more money than it's gonna lose, which means it's a win, right? Like, as long as they are making money, it's a win for them. They don't care about the morals, because morals and expectations wax and wane, and public attention span is basically nothing. So if they can just get through it and make the money, doesn't matter. And that's not me being a doomer. I'm not saying it's not worth trying to tell people to step away from Harry Potter. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people still engaging with Harry Potter stuff who are bringing their kids into it, who like are still funding all of that. Like it's a cultural cornerstone franchise. It's not going away, and that blows because it's not great. As Ada Scout just said, Harry Potter is meh. Like Harry Potter is deeply mid. Basically everything interesting from Harry Potter is a like baby's first version of something much more interesting from another franchise. It is like it's like setting yourself up to fail as a fan of fantasy. Because you're if Harry Potter is your end all be all, you've essentially said like, I want to take the most tepid, poorly thought out system of magic and magical universe to call my like favorite and foundation, as opposed to like exploring what fantasy actually means and holds. It's a librarian's Lord of the Rings. Harry Potter was a simp, loved being used. I like the fandom though. I like the fandom though. Words developed from that are interesting. Fanon. Oh, the fanon as in like the fandom canon. Okay. I'm having trouble with words apparently. My brain is on like, I'm single tracking. That's what's happening right now. My brain is single tracking, which is to say there's going to be delays at various stations on the dev metro system. So I would be a great light rail. I would be a really great light rail. I would carry passengers really well. Y'all ever play Mini Metro? I should play Mini Metro. That's a fucking great game. Let me see if I have that on Steam / if it works on Mac. I'm not going to do it this second, but I just want to see if I have it. Mini Metro is very, very good if you haven't played it. Let me pull that up right quick. Go away, Steam. Mini Metro. So Mini Metro is it's like a metro building game. You design a metro system, a light rail system, and you have to like get shapes to where they're trying to go. This is not a very good introductory video at all. Hello? This is a terrible video. Okay. This is what the game actually looks like. It looks like a light rail map. And you like new stations pop up over time, and you only have so many routes and trains to use, and you have to connect all the stations and prevent any one station from getting too backed up. And at each station, passengers appear over time as shapes, and the shape that a passenger is says what station they want to get to. So whatever is like the closest station of their shape they're trying to go to. So it's like a load management game that's all about recreating metro systems, and it's pretty fucking cool. It's really fun. And also it's available, I think, on Apple Arcade if you have that. So I'm gonna see if I can get that installed, and maybe I'll play it on a stream at some point, because that would be a very good, like, just kind of existing sort of game. Mini Metro. Ooh, does it work on Mac? I don't have hope. Install? Does it? Hello? We'll find out. I'm hitting install. It's not stopping me. It ain't stopping me. It's free on mobile. That's good to know. I didn't realize it was free on mobile. There's a similar game to that called Mini Settlers. Basically, the entire thing is a logistics simulator. It says Draconos. They also have Mini Motorways, which is like a highway version of it, I think. Unclear. Uncreative Automaton, thank you for the follow. Says you're streaming, but stuff still happened. And Darkanos, thank you for the sub. 6 months. Sports occupy the same part of my brain that MOBA games do. It's a great way, or it's great to watch a solid play or two, but an entire game is monotonous BS. I played so dang much Dota in my life. I mean that sincerely. Like, I've played so much Dota between Dota 1 and Dota 2 and the Dota 2 beta and everything. Easily have spent 15 plus years of my life playing that game and haven't touched it in a while, and I'm proud of that one. I'm sober. But yeah, it is just, MOBA games are just long, drawn out games. And I liked that for a long time. I really appreciated that. I liked that it was like a long form investment and like felt both like reaction based and tactical. And I love the team aspect of it. It also broke me in many ways. it broke your boy in a lot of ways. It's just too much. Although I did learn something about myself. So I cannot multitask for shit, right? Like I'm not a good StarCraft player because I'm fucking terrible at micromanagement. I can't multitask and I'm bad at micromanagement. However, what I learned from Dota has an infamous character that you can play as. And in Dota / in most MOBAs, you're just controlling a character, like a single character running around a map. In Dota, there's an infamous character named Meepo. And Meepo has an ability, his ultimate ability gives him more Meepos. So you start off the game with one Meepo, and when you level up his ultimate, you get a second Meepo. When you level up again, you get a third Meepo, and a fourth and a fifth. And so you've got 5 Meepos running around the map, each one individually controlled, and each one is its own full character. And each one can teleport to each other one at will. So you can have like all of your Meepos running around the map wherever until one of them bumps into somebody, and then you can like teleport each one over to that person and fuck them up, right? And so it's just like the micromanagement character, basically. I had a pocket Meepo. So like I could not play micromanaged characters. I could not do multitasking and micromanagement, but I had a pocket Meepo, which is to say in the right conditions, I was able to pull out a Meepo and wipe the floor with people. The conditions were I had to be a little drunk. For whatever reason, although if I'm completely sober, I cannot play Meepo. But if I had a little bit, just a little bit, maybe a little bit too much of a bit, suddenly I was a fucking multitasking master and I would wipe the fucking floor with people. So it got to the point that I would just like, I'd be like, all right, guys, we need to win. Let me go get a beer. I assume it's just a matter of like, I loosened up, you know, like I wasn't so overly critical about everything I was doing, and so I was more able to be fluid about it. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, that would be how I would win games if I was on a losing streak. You're losing a game, you crack open a beer and switch to Meepo. That's me healing in Final Fantasy 14. You know what's a game that I haven't touched and I'm kind of afraid to touch because it would probably consume me is Marvel Rivals. Marvel Raro. It would probably kill me because of the same thing. Like it's a Overwatchy MOBA-y game, I think, and it would probably just eat me alive. Less brain power equals focus on only the important tasks. That's probably true. Really, it was a matter of like I was able to not. I fuck myself up normally if I try to keep multiple threads in my head going at once. Like they all just converge and get fucked up, but maybe the booze helped me keep all that separate. Opinions on Satisfactory. I haven't played it. I really want to. I keep seeing footage of it, and every time I see footage of it, I'm like, this is like the game that I want to play. And I just keep not doing that. Is it on PlayStation yet? I think I've just been waiting for it to come to PS5. Satisfactory PS5. Is it? Developers didn't specify when the ports will be released. You must be patient and wait for more information from Coffee Stain Studios. You're telling me that this game requires me to be patient? That sounds like a bullshit game to me. Why would I play something so bad that requires patience? It is the game. It's amazing. It looks really, really good. Cartoon Mortal says, I just started Marvel Rivals last week. It's pretty overstimulating, but what helps me is that I play it in short bursts. I used to sink into Overwatch. Yeah, having finally gotten past my Destiny, like my deep Destiny addiction, and having been really trying to keep that staved off for a while, I do feel like Marvel Rivals would just take up that spot and ruin me in a new way. Darkanaut says Satisfactory is aight, but RimWorld War Crimes is where it's at. I have played a little bit of RimWorld. I found it good. It was the kind of thing where it's like, man, I would be so into this if my head was in the right space for it right now. Like I could see myself falling apart into that game, but I just was like, at my time of playing that game, I wasn't vibing with it. Console ports come after 1.1 according to a stream clip. Okay, but after is a pretty ambiguous time frame, right? Like it could be years after, months after. OG Overwatch consumed my soul for too long. I can't let Marvel get me, says Fire Drops. So for me, okay, the soul consumption progression for your boy was, I think first, it's hard to say. Hold on, I need to do a quick timeline lookup. I think. Okay, one more. It's close. Hard to say. I cannot figure it out. But so here's my order of games that consumed my soul throughout my life. I believe the first was Diablo 2. It's either Diablo 2 or RuneScape. I was playing RuneScape, like original, like RuneScape Classic, like the original RuneScape in 2001, which is the same year that Diablo 2 came out. So I don't know which one I was playing first, but Diablo 2 was like one of the most formative games for me. It's not the first game I played by any means, but it was the first game that like I truly sunk into and started to learn how to conceptualize games, right? Like started to learn how to really understand and know and explore a game and what that means, rather than just like, I'm playing a game, you know? So it became like my first game that I was fully committed to. Same with RuneScape. Then eventually Dota. Team Fortress 2 for a stint in there for a while. Your boy was a battle medic. I did so much battle medic shit. I love that so goddamn much. The medic in TF2, you pull out the bone saw. It's like a 3-hit kill. It's a melee weapon, so you got to be able to get up in their face. But if you are capable enough at like getting into weird places and you can hide behind your team for a little bit if you need to get behind enemy lines, but then you can just like drop down on people. It's like, why be a spy when you can just be a medic and just murder everyone? So did that for a bit. Went back to Dota from the beta when that came out. Dota for a goddamn long time. For a long time. And then honestly, like I was just drifting. I was drifting through the world alone and afraid after Dota. I stopped. I had nothing in my life. I had a vacuous void in my heart, and I had to look for something new. And that's when the siren started singing to me. That's when the Traveler found me. I got sucked into Destiny 2. And it was really good. And then it was fine. And then it got really buggy. and now Bungie's crashing out. Have y'all seen this shit? The marathon situation is so bad right now. Hello to Leanne Dry Raven. Leanne Dry Raven. Leanne Raven. Hello. Says back in the day, totally addicted to Star Wars Galaxies. So many years lost in that game. We had 8 paid accounts for all the crafting. Yeah. Oh my god. So many multi-account situations going on. So it's not great. So like Marathon is not in a good way. Marathon is a game that Bungie is putting out. Now, I talked about this in a Stuff Keeps Happening somewhat recently, but here's the short version. Bungie, they made the original Halo, right? Then Destiny 2 or Destiny and Destiny 2 were their flagship games eventually. They moved off of Halo. They made Destiny, which is essentially an MMO version of Halo 2, essentially like the literal Halo 2 engine just converted into an MMO. Then they made Destiny 2. And these have been like Halo-like MMO-ish looter shooter live service games. They're a continuous story that have like player versus environment, player versus player, some like really big end game content, some like really great like arcade style stuff. And the PvP, which had like a really lively, semi-competitive scene. Doesn't have like esports level competition, but people really take Destiny PvP seriously. Destiny PvP players were like, Bungie, please. You literally made Halo. Like, you are known for PvP shooting games. Can you please invest some more in the PvP in Destiny? Like, we like where it's at. Like, we like how it is generally, but like balance it more, give us more maps and like better, more solid game modes and like a decent ranking system. Bungie was like, cool, fuck that. We're going to make an entire different game actually. Like all that investment and care that you've put into your Destiny account won't matter because fuck you. We're going to make this other game. Aren't you excited about that? And people were like, no, we really want any showing of faith of like a future in Destiny. And they're like, nope. So they announced Marathon, which is an extraction shooter, which is like a type of game that's essentially a battle royale. But instead of trying to be the last one standing, you want to complete an objective and get out before someone kills you. And the idea is if you go into the game, you complete your objective and you get out, you get to keep whatever loot that you got in that match. And it's sort of like an RPG in that way, and you build up your character in that way. But if you die, you lose everything. So it's just like not the same, right? It's a very different kind of game, but it also has this very specific aesthetic. And the problem is that although Bungie, God damn it. Although Bungie is known for their like really gorgeous artwork, they essentially just lifted the style of the game. Like the entire style of the game was like lifted from a artist on Twitter. It started off by people just being like, okay, this is a pretty rad looking design. But then there was a preview, like a game preview that did not go very well. And while people were looking through the game, they realized like, or an artist was like, this is my artwork. Like they lifted my art for the game, and it got worse and worse because it wasn't just like a piece of art. It became obvious that like this artist, their style was lifted in its entirety for this game. And so like this game just is now designed after an unpaid, unattributed artist. And Bungie was then like, we looked into it. They're right. It was a contractor at some point did it and took the art and we didn't know about it or something. And now people are like, what the fuck? And so basically we're in a situation now where this giant company, Bungie, who has a huge fan base that's already on edge, who like people were really expecting them to pull out something, then just fell completely flat with a preview of the game that didn't go well, and then was found out for that they were stealing art from artists, and it's just a mess. And so people are now wondering like, is this even gonna happen? Like, yeah, Bungie's Marathon fans convinced the game will be canceled after the paid marketing reportedly pulled. So like they are now pulling back from it. They're trying to be like, what the fuck do we do? They're in like absolute cover my ass mode. It's messed up. Tree Fox says, I never enjoyed Crucible. They needed a standardized weapon set. It's basically impossible to play unless you build an entire loadout specifically for whatever the current troll meta is. I disagree, but I also understand and agree. So Crucible is brutal. The Destiny PvP world is brutal, and it gets a little easier whenever there was like a big release and it brought back the majority of the player base. But the issue that Destiny has is that like because people are so kind of like over it, the only people that still play Crucible are like longtime veterans who are really good. And so like part of why people were annoyed with Crucible was a whole bunch of different methods of matchmaking that were fucking stupid that Bungie did. For a while, it was all connection-based matchmaking, so you were matched with people who had a good connection, not with people who were around your skill level. So if you weren't explicitly a good player, you would just get rolled in every match, basically. But like, it would get a little bit better whenever the player base expanded again, and it's genuinely a fun mode because you get to bring in your favorite gear that you get to customize, and you can try to like work towards a certain build, and like you can really dial in your exact setup for what you're trying to do in the match. And while I agree that there are definitely cheesy builds and like people would do like the dumbest, most obnoxious bullshit, and especially in the era of just shotgun aping, when people would just, you would like turn a corner and die before you even like saw an enemy because shotguns were fucking busted. Like, yeah. And that's what people wanted Bungie to fix, was like make this more reasonable. But I think part of the draw of Crucible was the bringing your own setup, like not having to use preset loadouts, because you could do some really silly shit. And then you could like, if you got killed by something, you could be like, I want to try that. And you could like change your build over to like figure out something like that. I don't know. I really, really, really liked certain loadouts in certain modes of Crucible, and I really, really disliked other modes of Crucible, especially Trials. Trials, for those who don't know, oh my fucking god. The like pinnacle high-end PvP mode in Destiny is called Trials of Osiris. And it's only open on the weekends. You can only play it on weekends. You have to like buy a ticket using in-game currency, not real money. You buy a ticket, and your ticket has like 7 checkboxes on it, basically. The way it works is with a few different rules. There's a few different types of tickets that change this, but the way it generally works is you have to win 7 matches in a row without losing. And if you do that, you get a huge prize. And every weekend, you would try to race to get that prize. Like you would try to be like, okay, I got to get my ticket. I got to win 7 games in a row. You lose a game, it nullifies your ticket. You don't get the big reward at the end anymore. So you can go and reset and start over and start trying to work towards 7 games in a row again. But this is the pinnacle PvP mode. So everyone who's playing this is playing for keeps and is also on the top of their game. So it's like you are going to be matched against the goofiest fucking shit, like the most sweatiest fucking players imaginable with the harshest loadouts you can imagine. And you have to win 7 matches in a row without losing one versus 7 different groups. Brutal. Super brutal. If you lost a game, did you have to buy a new ticket? No, you could reset your ticket, which was free. And there were different types of tickets that would give you different buffs. So there was one ticket that was like, your first win counts as 2 wins. Or one ticket where it's like your first loss is a pass, like you get a bye. So you could lose 2 matches instead of none. But yeah, if you did that, you would go to a special area called the Lighthouse where you would get like really, really rare, powerful gear. And I only ever did that once or twice, I think. One at once and never went back. Yeah, it's brutal. Like, it's a brutal game mode. And they kept trying to figure out how to make it better because people would just like... People would get a win, and then they would just like spend the rest of the weekend fucking with everybody and like trying to game the system to get the most loot, regardless of like letting other people win. And so Bungie did a thing for a while where it was like, this might still be a thing, where they made it so that if you won a game of Trials, or if you won 7 rounds of Trials, you got put into like a different queue, like a different matchmaking queue with other people who have already won. So that like, as the weekend went on, the people who you get matched against, if you haven't like cleared a ticket, would just get progressively worse. And so you had a better chance. Tomato, 26 months. What the fuck? Sorry I'm late. Had a meeting the time the stream started. No need to apologize. All good. Me and Flynn are right here. Flynn is definitely a real boy and not just a picture today. So we're fine. So the strategy was not to play for the first day. Yeah, when they rolled that out, most people would wait until the second day to have a much easier time because it was just a absolute folderol aside from that. But then they started adding more like game modes and whatnot, trying to like make trials a little bit less cheesy. And the problem is like the premise of win 7 games without losing one is bad. That is a bad premise for a competitive sport. Like, that is not how high skilled competition works. That just rewards people who are so far and beyond the best, like so beyond everyone else, that only they will ever get it, because by definition that means that they are like there don't exist enough people to challenge them, which like if that's who you want to reward, great. But if you want to have like a thing that most players, or at least like even like a quarter of players, like even if a quarter of people who wanted to try to win trials actually won trials, that would be better than what we have now, or what they were doing. Anyway, I'm also very sensitive about ranking systems because I like designing and building ranking systems. They're fun. Loved Destiny when it first came out and tried getting into Destiny 2 last year on the downturn and was sadly disappointed. It is way too late to get into Destiny 2, unfortunately. Like, I would not recommend it. I haven't played it in a while, so I don't know what's going on right now. But like, they finished their 10-year-long story, and I think they're going to start a new major story, but like, we're just in limbo right now. The ending to the 10-year-long story was, they did good. Like, they did a pretty good job with the ending and made it hype, but it's just floating, and they should really just shut it down at this point and make Destiny 3 or something. I don't know. Warframe never quite figured out PvP either. I don't think it's a good mode for looter shooters. I think PvP is a fun game mode for looter shooters if the game has been designed around being balanced and not infinite power growth. Looter shooters, I believe, or like looter games in general, are at their best when there's more or less infinite growth, and like that infinite growth will slow down over time. But you look at like the more recent Diablo games and how there's not really a difficulty cap. It just like becomes difficulty level, ultra plus 6, right? And then just like ultra plus 7, ultra plus 8. They have the infinite scaling difficulty because you can get infinitely good gear and you just keep going up. And that's fun. That's part of the fun of it, is the incremental improvement. And you can't really do that and then have PvP, because like, unless you have an extremely good system for ranking relative power, you're just going to have fucked up mismatched stuff. I actually picked up from the end of Shadowkeep and played through Final Shape like a month ago. The PvE stuff is really solid still. Yeah, like the PvE in Destiny is still really good, and like their environmental design is unparalleled. It's so fucking good. They should make the story DLC free and move on. They should make a movie, except it's too late because what's his name died. Oh God, I'm blanking on his voice. He voices Zavala. He's the best. Why am I blanking on his name? He's my favorite guy. Lance Reddick. Lance Reddick. I didn't want to have to look it up. I knew it. It was in my heart. Yeah, Lance Reddick playing Zavala in a show would have been fucking amazing. I saw a preview for Ballerina, the new John Wick spin-off movie, and in the trailer, they showed Lance Reddick. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they CG'd him or if they like recorded some of it before he died, or if they just are reusing some footage they recorded in previous movies, but they straight up had Lance Reddick in the preview for the new John Wick spin-off movie. So, I don't know. Also, Silas in Horizon. Yeah, he was great as Silas. I mean, he was great as anyone. He's just like the best ominous dude. Although, Although I will say, I want to get his name right. Tremel Tillman. Tremel Tillman is the next one. He's the next one. I'm telling you, this man is gonna do things. So he's in Severance. If you've seen Severance, he's fucking incredible in Severance. He is going to like I'm putting him, I posted about this yesterday, like I'm putting him up there with like Giancarlo Esposito, the guy that plays Gus from Breaking Bad. This guy is going to be the new like person you want to see casted as the most intense imaginable roles. I want him to play everything. I want him to play every ominous, terrifying character. Look at that smile. Like, look at that. Look at this fake, like I have like 12 layers to my smile right here. He's like, you don't need to fear me, but you should definitely fucking fear me. Like, I want him playing everything. Have him play, I don't know, every villain in the Destiny franchise. Perfect. Keith David is awesome as Zavala. Yeah, Keith David as Zavala was a good choice, especially given his like previous work with Bungie. But it's just not the same. Just not the same. My Name is Bife basically has a Destiny movie from all of his story videos. Yeah, that dude makes like 8-hour-long Destiny lore drop videos. It's crazy. Tell you what, y'all know what I got into recently? The power scaling wiki. Y'all ever see this? This is amazing. The Versus Battles wiki. So this wiki has essentially just like every fictional character and it ranks them all. So if you're not familiar with like power scaling, it's essentially just a hobby of who would win in a fight between these characters. And the idea is that they have like a very well-defined ranking system that lets them identify which characters or objects have what level of power. And it's so in depth. So like if we go to, tiering system. So every character falls somewhere on this tier from tier 11, which is infinitesimal, all the way to tier 0, which is boundless, after tier 1, higher infinity, or perhaps high 1C, a high complex multiversal level. Perhaps you might fall into a low 1A, a low outerverse level character. But yeah, like here, let's look up Goku, right? Because he's gonna be pretty middling. Like you look up, oh hey, he's like the first one. You look up characters that you think are gonna be like super good, and they're like sort of okay. Okay, so he is a tier 2C-ish, which makes him, what did we say 2C was? Hearing system. 2C. Universe level plus. Characters or objects whose power is uncountably infinitely greater than prior tiers. That is to say, they can significantly affect, create, and or destroy higher dimensional structures that exceed lesser objects by an uncountably infinite margin. An example of this is fourth dimensional space-time continuums of universal size, but this can be generalized to any four-dimensional structure of similar scope. Obviously, fucking obviously, Usagi from Sailor Moon. Usagi. Is that... Which one? Which Usagi is that? Is that this? Sailor Moon. Which one is it? This one? Nope, that doesn't seem right. Seems very much not right. Kirby? Kirby is a 5A to 2C, depending on situation. So they also list out, the other thing is they list out everything this character can do. They have pages for every power and strength that a character can have, and they list them all out. So Kirby has superhuman physical characteristics, small size, toon force, longevity, body control, fourth wall awareness, elasticity, immortality types 2 and 3, non-physical interactions, Vehicular mastery. Skilled with navigating and fighting with land and supernatural fighting vehicles. Teleportation, subjective reality, poison manipulation, ice manipulation, immunity to having his bones manipulated. So, Kirby is below or equivalent to Goku. In theory, Kirby could eat up Goku and like be Goku? Question mark? Okay, let's see. Usagi Tsukino. No results. We got Sailor Moon though. Sailor Moon is 7B to low 2C. It seems most heroes go up to about 2C is what I have found. Like, what if we look at like Link? Oh my god. Tears of the Kingdom. Link. Tears of the Linkdom. 8C to high 8C with bombs. So Link is 8C, hello. But if you give the man a bomb, he goes up a rank. Morgan LaFab, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. We are just looking up random characters on the Versus Battle Wiki. But yeah, so the reason I thought of this was because I like pulled up like Savathun, who is one of the main villains from the Destiny franchise. And they have a whole bunch of really cool quotes, and she is, what is she? She is, goes up to 2C, but is mostly 6A. So she's actually kind of shitty. Little shitty. I mean, I do love her. She's the best. Allow me to read this quote, though, because holy damn, holy shit, this is a lot. So, okay, Savathun, for reference, before I read this clip, she is the hive god of cunning and like trickery and shit. So she's basically the god of trickery. She's like a Loki-ish kind of figure. She's just kind of like always messing with bitches. And she's also just a really, really good villain. And her story is just very well written. But here is a message from her talking about herself, sort of like ominously before she actually was like revealed. So listen to this, just her self-description. Who am I? Call me Coyote. Call me Mantis, Serpent, Kagnanasi. Call me Sri cleans her brother's stomach. Call me the grandmother of semiosis, the jeweler's hammer which gilds the signal, a purposeful mob none of whose members knows its purpose, the infinite regress of enigmas, a self-questioning answer, the word not spoken, black ice, cataract of minds, the ache and fever of overthought while bedridden with illness, the intolerable thorn of frustrated inquisition, gray regret at the end of a fruitless day, the thing which is unlike your beloved but arbitrarily recalls your beloved to an agonizing effect, architrave of the no window, a needle driven flush with the skin so that desperate fingers cannot pull it out, sweet petal, unmemorable, crystal death, the provably improvable. Which is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, and she didn't need to do that to me. But that just fucking chills. Holy shit. What a good villain. Cataract of Mimes goes so hard. It really does. It really does. The VA for Savathun has done some some insane cameos for roasting players. Well, there's also the classic Lance Reddick meme read. Lance Reddick Zavala meme. Perfect. Okay, hold on. Let me pull this up. Sign in to confirm you're not a bot. Oh my god. Hold on. Sign in. Oh, why do I have to do this? Imagine signing in. Google. Wow. Mommy is the list of things we call her. You're not wrong. Password. Can we, okay. Tap yes on my phone. Good lord. I just want to be signed in to a website. Okay, yes, it's me. Okay, that's the number. Are we good? We're good. And now you're just going to start auto-playing. Fucking y'all. Holy God. Okay. Everything is terrible. Here we go. Power scale for login forms. Definitely multiversal. For sure. So, this is wonderful because Lance Reddick, the voice of Zavala, the guy, the purple dude in the middle here, he read a, like, copy pasta about essentially how there's a scene in the plot. Doesn't really fucking matter all the things around it, but basically one character was like, hey, good guys, bow to me. And Zavala, who's the head of the good guys, it was like, the meme was that he should have been like, bitch, we've been destroying you for like 8 years. What the fuck do you mean? And so they wrote a copy pasta that Lance Reddick decided to read, and then someone else turned into this edit of the scene. So please enjoy.
Even my people have a word for peace, but we do not use it often or lightly. I wouldn't have summoned you if I was not sincere.
Peace with the Cabal.
The darkness crowds the edges of this system. The Hive serves it. You'll fall to one if not the other. My world did.
Empress Keitel, I'm sorry for what you've lost.
We have all suffered. I propose an alliance.
Cabal don't ally. They conquer. She betrayed her father to Gaul. Don't think she won't put a gilded knife in your back too.
That's actually Savathun.
My father was soft.
He lacked ambition.
As you do. Humanity won't survive unless the commander expands his horizons. Join my empire. You'll keep your title and gain a seat on my war council. With my army and your light, the Cabal will crush the Hive. Then, the Black Fleet. Bow.
Here we go.
Excuse me? One fucking Guardian has been kicking your race's collective asses for 9 years. They killed gods for fun and to turn them into guns for a meme. They genocide entire races for loot. They assassinated your last leader, cleaned out your daddy's ship, while he wrote fan fiction about them and promptly fucked off to let you pick up the pieces. The only reason I didn't bring them here is because they casually began wielding the darkness to clap ass in new ways. All I have to do to make them end you is to tell them you have a fancy new gun, or that Eris can make you into one. So, think about that before you tell us to bow to your sorry ass.
So, like, Lance Reddick literally just records that in, like, if I recall correctly, like a bathrobe. He was just like sitting in his like in a lazy boy, and saw someone posted that like script on Twitter, and was just like, I gotta record this. So he just like pulls out his phone and just records himself saying that line, just like delivering it while he's like in pajamas on a lazy boy somewhere. God, what a fucking legend. Clap ass in the middle of a monologue took me out. Yeah. Wielding the darkness to clap ass in new ways. So fucking good. God damn it. God damn. I support Eorman rights and women wrongs. I don't know what the joke there was. I'm sorry. What's a lazy boy? A recliner, like a cushy chair. Like a very, very cushy sit-in chair, if you will. Etc. Oh, I should probably mention at some point. So the tariffs aren't anymore, kind of, sort of, a little bit. News. U.S. trade court blocks Trump's sweeping tariffs. What happens now? A U.S. federal court has blocked Donald Trump's sweeping global trade tariffs in a major blow to a key component of his economic policies. The Court of International Trade ruled that an emergency law invoked by the White House did not give the president unilateral authority to impose tariffs on nearly every one of the world's countries. So basically all those tariffs that Trump announced that were like, you know, on every country, including the country of just like penguins and shit, they were like, you can't do that. So unfortunately, this doesn't mean that it's like, you know, dead and gone. It just means, hello, they have to stop it until they likely appeal to higher and higher courts and probably going to go up to the Supreme Court. Livy Bear 16, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Also of note, wait, is this what this video is? He's upset about a new nickname he's got among financial people, apparently, where they're calling him Taco, which is Trump always chickens out, and it apparently is actually getting under his skin. Let's see.
Have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from...
I don't actually want to hear his dumb voice. Point being, the man can't get away from his own hubris, and that's the easiest way to actually take down fascists and weird dudes like him is just like laugh at them, because when they're not taken seriously, and when you hit them with the lamest insult, taco, really? That's the insult that you're gonna let get to you? Of all the things people have said about you, he gets upset about an acronym called taco, Trump always chickens out. Because that's like on his mental level, and so he's able to actually internalize it and feel something about it, as opposed to it just going over his head. So you gotta stoop to their level and just call them dumb. The chickens out part, yeah, it makes him look weak. Livy Bear 16 says, "Hoy! Found you by chance on Twitch, but I watch your TikToks a lot. Glad you popped up." Well, I'm glad that I popped up for you too, because now you're here, and that's great. Welcome in. The ego, yeah, like just fuck with his ego. He cannot handle it. That's all he is. He's just a walking ego. And like every decision that he makes is based on inflating his own ego and trying to make himself look good. And that's what I don't get. I mean, like, I get it. People are dumb and easily tricked and mostly don't pay attention, but he just says things that are so blatantly stupid and untrue, and constantly is saying like, it's not my fault, or I didn't know that, or I've never heard of this person that I absolutely should have known about, and like coming up with all these excuses as to why it's never his fault, but you should always give him credit for everything. And it's just so blatant. Like, I don't understand why anyone actually falls for any of it, but he's the president right now again, and I thought we all kind of knew that he was a fucking idiot. Like, I'm still trying to figure out when we all collectively forgot about his just entire past. My entire life up until 2016, he was a like loser. Like, the entirety of everyone knew he was a con man loser who, like, the only way he did business was on reality television. But I guess there are truly enough people who don't realize that reality television is scripted, and now he's the president. He's stuck mentally as Marty McFly. Don't call him chicken. Oh no. I didn't know that. Weaponizes incompetence like he's a 6-year-old at the playground. Yeah. It's insane that people don't call him on lies like instantly.
Attention.
Like claiming to end the war
We
in
are
Ukraine
being
one
raided.
day. Grim Exodus, raiding with 7 people. Welcome in, Raiders. How's it going? I hope you're doing great. We're just about to change the music on your behalf, probably, because the song's over soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Hello, The Real Burned Panic, 198. The 198th Burned Panic. Welcome in. Hey, it's time for a drink. I can absolutely take a drink. Thank you. Yeah, the lack of calling him on his lies is a lot, and I don't understand the just complete lack of follow through and the complete lack of like call him on it, you know? The man said so many times, so loudly, that the war in Ukraine would be over with before he even gets into office. Like, there should be on every major news outlet a tracker that's counting how many days it's been since Trump claimed he would solve any given problem. Just like have that live tracker and just fucking go, you know, like let him stare at that and ask him to point to it. If you call him out though, doesn't that mean you've got TDS? Yeah, I mean, okay. There's the TDS thing is fucking stupid. Like it's dumb. And the people, I mean, the pushback on it is to say that like the people who are obsessed with him are the ones who have TDS being Trump derangement syndrome. The main thing that I've seen is that people on the right who would say something like claiming someone has TDS are so stuck in their like desire to have libs be mad that they don't have anything else in their life. That's it. Is just wanting libs to be mad. And that to me is worth seeing a doctor about. The Real Burn Panic says, hello, my fiance is one of your biggest fans. I think you know of him. I think you know of him kinda, but he knows you and watches all of your videos. Well, that's lovely. Thank you. That's super, super sweet. Tell him I said hi. I don't know who it is, but tell him I said hi. And then tell him I said bye. But then tell him I said hi. Like the bye, tell him that the bye was a joke. I was just kidding. I wasn't leaving. But then also clarify that I'm not actually there and this is you telling him that, not me. You know, like because it's you and not me. Like I feel like that should be clear, but if we can just make sure that that's made clear. My fiance is Matt in the Hat. Oh yeah. Been around a long time. Epic Failure. Hello. Says hi. Hello. How's it going? Even children don't get away with such frequent and crazy lies. How do people let a full-grown adult do it? Yeah, I don't understand the lack of follow through, the lack of follow up with his claims. He makes these giant, completely untrue claims, and then everyone's just like, okay, next question. Like, press him on it. Make him define things. Make him answer shit. If he says he doesn't know, press him on that. Be like, why don't you know? What briefings aren't you getting? You're the president of a country. You should probably know these things, you know? Like, push the fuck back. Speaking of politics, didn't Musk just step out or something? Yeah, let's be really clear about this, actually. Okay. So Elon Musk has, formally stepped away from Doge. That was always the plan, to be clear. I want to be very, very clear about that. That was always the plan. There was never, he was not going to be there for more than, I think, like 120 days. It's only been like 55 days, I think. But like saying that like, oh, this is a huge deal that he's stepping aside because, that must mean there's a rift. I've already seen that narrative a few times. I don't think that's the case. I think he is really feeling it. I think he's feeling a lot of pressure from investors and everything about how bad Tesla's doing. And then Twitter crashed really badly recently. SpaceX had another like disaster recently. All of his shit is just in a bad way and people hate him. And he was very publicly in view at the beginning of the Trump administration. And he was polling like trash. Awful. He was absolute poison. For an administration who's doing all the shit that they're doing, Musk was still worse for them. So they started to like sideline him a little bit, I think. But I think at this point, it's just like he needs to get back to his normal shit. That said, he did naysay the big, beautiful bill. But I also want to remind everybody that like Elon Musk doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He barely even knows where he is at any moment because he's just on a kind of ketamine-fueled bender constantly. Like he will talk constantly about how like, oh, the bureaucracy is so much worse than I thought. This is the man who was like, I can fix everything and I'm going to cut $2 trillion from the budget. Then once he got a little closer to it, he was like, I'm going to cut $1 trillion from the budget. Then once he actually got there, he tried to cut some money, claimed he cut 150 billion, and then stopped. And then it came out that most of that 150 billion wasn't actually cut or was already going away to begin with. So like nothing really truly happened aside from a bunch of people losing their jobs and everything getting materially worse. for no real gain and no real savings. So people just kind of fucking hate the guy. Now, I've also seen, and I have looked into this exactly none, so do not take this as gospel, but also it's fucking hysterical if it's true. I have also been seeing rumors that Musk somehow was in a like throuple with Stephen Miller and his wife. And with Musk leaving, he's apparently taking Stephen Miller's wife with him. Now, I'm going to do exactly no
These
fact checking on
starlings
this because I don't
for an
actually
elder
care.
is among us.
But the abstract concept of Stephen Miller getting cucked by literally Elon Musk is one of the funniest concepts I can actually think of. I think that actually would break the comedy scale. Stephen Miller, of course, being the platonic ideal of a twerp. So, pretty perfect. Informal Goblin says, I have returned. Got hit with pre-rolls twice in a row. That's, I'm very sorry to hear that. It's 2025, who fact checks anymore? Yeah, I'm mostly not fact checking because I don't actually care. I don't think it matters. And also, it's a rumor as far as I know. So, like, I don't think I can fact check it. But it's mostly just people are saying this, and that's a funny concept. Like Trump's the ultimate fake it till you make it scenario, but then you continue faking it afterwards. Maracas Skullman says, I recently had an idea for a law. If a company uses generative AI at all, its own copyrights become de facto public domain. If you don't respect the copyright of others, no one should respect yours. Thoughts? So, it's difficult. Emotionally, yes, right? Like on the face of it, absolutely. Like you use AI to produce something and you try to sell that, you should be, it should be considered public domain.
Look who just subscribed.
Yo, thanks for the gifted sub to Informal Goblin from Fire Drops. Thank you. If you use AI to produce a thing and claim that that's yours and try to make money off of it, that's theft. Like, depending on the AI, there are technically some AIs that have only been trained on public domain material, in which case, iffy. But in general, I get what you're saying, and I agree. It just, like, is shitty and cheapens everything. And I think the problem has more to do with these giant tech companies that are training these AIs have been riding that like de facto understanding that they are exempt from the law because they've positioned themselves as a national security infrastructure. Like OpenAI at this point is essentially a national security interest, right? At least that's like where they are in terms of importance to the government, whether or not that's necessary. And because of that, they can basically get away with murder. I would point to Boeing, who literally got away with murder because of the national security implications of Boeing actually being taken to court for something. So OpenAI is kind of in the same place, and they're using, and like all the AI companies are, and they're using that, like the sort of like space race of AI right now to curry favor with the government to avoid having to deal with the fact that they are really fucking over copyright law right now. So imagine a world where if people want all of this stuff, if people truly wanted this stuff, and if the market truly was working the way it was supposed to work, anyone whose content was scraped to train these AIs should be compensated anytime these AIs use the results of the training data to produce something, which would make them unprofitable. But that's how a market is supposed to work, right? Like, if you're taking someone's intellectual property and remixing it without their permission and then selling it, that's illegal. Like, that's it does not allow. That's why licenses exist. You can't do that. You have any idea how long it takes and how much money there is involved in like licensing a song for a piece of media? It's like tens of thousands of dollars. Imagine if every artist whose art was stolen and trained to make other crappy art, not other crappy art, but crappy derived art, Imagine if you got some money every time that the AI brushed up against your trading data. Might make it a little more tolerable. Not saying that it's a great thing, and of course it doesn't really solve some of the environmental problems, but like, at least people would be getting paid for their work. But unfortunately, tech companies exist to prevent that from happening, so. Elon Musk is one of the few people you should bully into ending himself into ending himself with an utterly worthless waste of life. Elon Musk is a very, very, very bad dude, and I do believe the world would be better off if he was dead, and that was not a threat for legal purposes. How can you prove what AI model you use to make the thing? I mean, there really should be watermarks and shit like that, but the problem is that like this stuff is already like the cat's out of the bag, right? Like we don't already have a system in place for watermarking AI, and so like as long as you can have an AI that skirts a watermarking system, it doesn't really change anything. Is Doggo frozen? Doggo's not here. That is a photo, unfortunately. It is not a live feed. He is at the vet. I'm probably gonna have to go get him relatively soon, actually. Semi-related, but if one of those robot police dogs does a dumb dance after gunning down someone, I'm going Nat Turner on tech CEOs. The police dog things are so fucking dystopian. Oh my god. Makes me so sad to see decades of robotics research, and like I knew that it was going to end up in the hands of cops, and then it ended up in the hands of cops, and it's just upsetting. It's just like, why? Like, did we need this? Do we need to do this? Do they really need to have another way to torture people? Because like it would be an amazing thing for search and rescue, right? Like those are really, really cool prospects for search and rescue teams, especially like to have an automated search grid on the ground by deploying multiple of those robots that can like navigate difficult terrain in like a pre-computed grid and use like swarm mechanics to like optimally cover an area like a search and rescue group Roomba. That would be cool. But unfortunately, we're just like strapping a gun to it instead. People can already poison AI through images. Wait until a police dog reads a malicious QR code and then turns around on them. That too. Yeah, like we need to stop putting AI in everything, first of all. And second of all, like we're trying to rely on an inherently imperfect thing, right? Like neural networks, AI as we know it right now is always going to be imperfect. They keep talking about AGI. Like a lot of these AI companies talk about how they're trying to achieve AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, which is essentially true artificial sentience, more or less. I don't believe that exists, for one. Not with what we're doing right now. And for two, I don't think we're anywhere near the prerequisites for creating the things required for that to exist. That said, I don't think that AGI is impossible. I don't think it's completely impossible. I don't think it's out of humans' reach. But I don't think it's what we're talking about right now. I don't think we're anywhere near it. They keep saying it's like 5 years away. It's 5 years away. Just keep investing in us. I don't think it's real. Because LLMs and AI as we know it now are fuzzy machines. They're not perfect. They're just fuzz. And so like you'll never get an AI to like repeat the same thing multiple times. Unless you're using a specifically like deterministic system or something. But we can't just stick AI into things and have that thing now be AI powered. Because that's not how computing works. That's not how like reliable infrastructure works. Imagine if your municipality was like, you know what, we're gonna solve our traffic systems by letting AI control the stoplights. Because AI will be able to analyze all of the traffic patterns and optimize perfectly, right? Cool, it might work for a little bit. until it decides like, oh, you know what? The most optimal way to handle this actually would be to keep all of the lights green in one direction and every other light red. Because then if every car navigates to this one path, it'll optimize the ability for cars to flow through as many traffic lights as possible, thus solving the problem. Easy. And now every light is red. How do you know when you've achieved AGI? When you like when you've achieved human-like intelligence? Have you seen humans? I mean, humans are kind of fucked up. I mean, the classic test is and like this is not perfect, but the Turing test is the classic AI test. It's this concept that if you can have a text conversation with a thing and you can't tell if it's a human or a robot, then it passes the Turing test. Like the Turing test being just like a litmus test for, does this seem like intelligence, like true intelligence? A lot of different people have a lot of different definitions of what AGI could be, but they're all kind of acting as if it's this nuclear bomb Manhattan Project style, you know, once we split the atom, there's no going back kind of thing. And I just don't see it. I saw a thing. I didn't actually look into this further. Let me look into this a little bit before I say anything. Real quick, like. Yeah. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this hysteria. The OpenAI co-founder wanted a doomsday bunker in case AGI caused the rapture. Like, these people are deluded. These people are out of their mind. AI people, like the people who are at the center of the big AI companies and who are like the big AI believers are truly cultists. Like they actually believe that they are building essentially God, which makes them like above God. And like I'm not exaggerating. These people are genuinely believe themselves to be gods, think that like they're gonna cause the rapture, that they're going to usher in a new era of humanity. That's why they're all weird with like the natalist stuff. It's why Elon Musk is trying to have so many kids. It's why like they're trying to like repopulate the earth with their image. It's very fucking weird, and there's a lot of fractures to the cult. Like some of them are just like way too deep into the tech bro Kool-Aid. Some of them are in literal cults that have a cult leader and like live in compounds in the mountains. Some of them are just super rich and have no one to tell them no, and so they've just like lost their mind. That's what you've got with Musk, Zuckerberg, Bezos, all of them. Like they're just out of control because there's nothing that they can't have, and no one will tell them to stop. And so they don't know, like they're just hyping themselves up into a stupor constantly. Looking to the rationalists, they will make an AI god that will punish them in a simulation. Yes, they think that they will make an AI god that will punish them in a simulation. Yeah, rationalists, terrifying. There's also the I forgot the name of it. There was like that group that the cult leader was recently arrested. I don't think it was the rationalists. Tech cult leader arrested. The Zizians. Yeah, the Zizians. I talked about them on Stuff Keeps Happening. Yeah, there's the Zizians who have like killed multiple people. Like this is a tech. It started as like a tech cult, and they've killed multiple people. Like this is their like cult leader, and it's yeah. The apparent leader of a cult-like group known as the Zizians has been arrested in Maryland, along with another member of the group, Maryland State Police say. Jack Lasota, 34, was arrested on Sunday, along with Michelle Zajko, 33, of Media, Pennsylvania. They face multiple charges, including trespassing, obstructing and hindering possession of a handgun in the vehicle. They've been tied to the killing of a U.S. Border Patrol agent and 5 other homicides in Vermont, Pennsylvania, and California. Like, this is just one of several of these cults. When I say that tech, like deep tech shit, is a cult, I'm not joking. It is not hyperbole. It is not just like a label. It is, I'm talking definitionally verbatim. And they break off into a few different areas. There's some that are like the accelerationists, there are the effective altruists, there are the Zizians, there are the AI tech god people that we're gonna like bring in the Rapture.
Sounds like
all of
rebellion
that stuff
propaganda to
in
me.
so many ways. Like they're the Elon Musk type people who think that they need to repopulate the world with their genius DNA. It's a lot. I know people that are/were in that one. That's wild. Which one? The Zizians? If you knew people who were in the Zizians, that's dangerous. And you should not know those people. Yeah, no, they're really, really a lot. I'm talking like literal compound. I'm talking like cult with a hidden compound in the mountains kind of shit. My high school was a weird place. Very fair. Yeah, no, all these crazy billionaire dudes have like bunkers because they believe in doomsday shit. They think. Yeah, there was also that thing recently about the signal chats, like the group chats that they're all like the reason that all these tech people have gone so far right wing. Tech CEO group chats. So there's this like network of group chats that essentially it's just filled with all of the like richest people in like tech and investment and shit, and they all just have these group chats in which they echo chamber to each other, like essentially Illuminati style shit, but like dumb. Like instead of being a group chat of all the richest elite people in the country and they're like controlling everything and moving a bunch of levers and whatnot, they're just like hyping each other up into thinking that brown people are the problem. And like talking about like the white supremacy and shit. Yeah, okay. This is insane CCP thinking. Not sure what leaders hang out with you in Singapore, but you've been taken over by a crazy China mind virus. That is a statement that a billionaire said to another billionaire. Like, I'll share this article. It's a really interesting read, but it's essentially just like a bunch of disparate group chats. Excuse me. Disparate group chats that all these my face went away. I pasted the fucking join link over my face. Yeah, so it's basically just a group chat in which they're all hyping each other up into being racist. And it's really wild. If you wondered why all these like weird
dingus.
tech oligarchs are just like on Twitter being angry about the same weird shit that like if you've ever looked at what they're talking about right now and you're like, why are they talking about this? When did they start to give a shit? And why do they give so much of a shit about like this specific court case or like this specific racial trait that they're all now dialing in on? It's these chats. They're like incel group chats for billionaires because they're all still fucking lame. God, can't even get a cool cult. Yeah, seriously. Can't even get a good cult. I just want a decent job, healthcare, and environment. I'm tired of these algorithm gods. I am so fucking tired of algorithms. I'm so tired of algorithms. I was thinking about this recently. Like, it has broken people's brains, and it has broken the way that people expect to interact with media. The fact that every time I post on TikTok now, I get a flurry of comments from people being like, I've missed you, or like, I haven't seen you in forever, or like, where have you been? And it's like, you're commenting these things, and it's like, I don't know what you want from me. Like, do you know what app you're on? You're on an app that gives you a semi-randomized feed of videos. If you don't see me for a while, there's nothing I can do about that. But you have every control in the world to see my content. Like, if you like my content and you want to see me, you can go to my profile, you can follow me on any other social media that actually has like a chronological timeline. There are all sorts of ways to actually engage with my content, but people very clearly still have preferences. I get people saying like, I wish I saw more of your stuff. And it's like, you can solve that. You can solve that right now. But we've been conditioned to be like, I wish I saw more of your stuff in my feed. like without having to put in the effort. And because of that, like because we've removed the notion of like self-autonomy, like of autonomy on the internet, we've removed the notion of like you can choose what you're gonna watch. That's how far we've gone. Or you look at like Threads, where Threads is, Threads and Twitter both have like an algorithmic homepage now, where instead of a reverse chronological timeline, it's just here's what we think you want to see. But when you do that, you get the worst posts pushed up to the top because they're going for engagement. They're going for posts that keep people engaged on the platform, which are going to be the stupidest fucking takes you've ever seen. So it's just rage bait because people are going to all pile on that person. So when you do an engagement-based algorithm, you just promote rage bait. Reddit tried to do a bit of a middle ground a long time ago. Like before leaning fully into algorithms was a thing, you had like simple voting-based algorithms, which is like Reddit, a time-based voting-based ranking system. So on Reddit, you've got like, at least classically the way that it worked was you post something, people can upvote it, and as it gets upvotes, that it goes into a calculation compared to the popularity of the board that it was posted in compared to everything else and how it's performing over time. And then that created a rank where you could see like across all of these communities, show me what is currently trending that's recent and upvoted. And that was pretty good. It was pretty good because it was essentially a community moderated trending system, not a fully algorithmically determined timeline, because the timeline doesn't show you things that like many people are enjoying. It's showing you things that it thinks you specifically will enjoy, which means that you get a really great burst of dopamine when it's working, and otherwise you get trapped in like a very specific corner and you're not seeing other things that you might want to be exposed to or what have you. But then we get stuck and we try to get back to that original dopamine hit, and so we just keep scrolling and it doesn't happen again. So I've been really enjoying Blue Sky and Mastodon for the purposes of just reading what people have to say about things, because I can see what's new and what people said about what. And like, yeah, there are slightly algorithmicized timelines that I can look at too, but mostly I just want to see what the fuck people are saying about things. It's staggering how much convenience algorithms have decreased literacy. It's staggering how much convenience algorithms have decreased literacy and tech literacy, not to mention critical thinking. The lack of tech literacy is astonishing. The number of times, and like, I really don't mean to be like cruel to people who don't know better, or like don't know how to do these things. Not their fault. Tech companies have been working overtime to take away that knowledge from people. But the number of times that I've posted on like TikTok or whatever and said, follow me on YouTube or follow me on Twitch, people will be like, how? Or where's the link? And it's like, it's in the place that it's always is. Like, I shouldn't have to say link in bio, one, because I'm going to get demolished by the algorithm. And two, like, link in bio. The link is it's on my profile. You can go to my profile and click on the link. But even then, because it's a link to my homepage, like they'll go to my website and they'll be like, okay, well, I'm on a website. What do I do now? And it's like, click the button that says Twitch. And people don't know how to sight read websites and apps anymore. If they even know how to get out of the app to begin with, because also apps do that thing where like they open up the web page inside the app in a web browser so that you don't actually leave the app. And so like half the time it just breaks everything. It's just a mess. And yeah, like people really don't know how to use their devices, which is a shame because you can do so much. In fact, I really want to do either a video or a stream or something in which I like walk you through how to make a website from like complete scratch for ideally $0 with whatever device you have. Like you can use your fucking phone and do it. And I mean like from scratch. I need to plan that out, but I've been really wanting to do that for a while. Nadastra says, I work in IT and have for 12 years. It's terrifying to see not just older people, but now people my age have more tech knowledge than people who are 10 years younger than me. Yeah, seriously. Like people who you really thought should be able to use their devices just don't know. which is sad because I feel like with the way that the vibes are shifting right now, like the move towards being a little bit less Fisher Pricey tech stuff, you know, like more towards like raw experiences, right? Like people are moving back towards like digital cameras instead of just using their phone for everything. Like that's trendy right now. I feel like crunchy computer shit would slap in that space, right? Like going back to the like late 90s, early aughts weird computer form factors, that would hit so good right now. Those like whack ass tiny laptops with like extra buttons on them, or a thing that's like somewhere between a foldable phone and a laptop, or like all sorts of like weird grungy tech could be so cool right now. Mike says, I am back. I found out the thing to eat was mac and cheese. That's a good point. Mac and cheese is the thing to eat. I agree. Bring back the Zune. I had a buddy. Love you, man. You know who you are. I had a buddy who was a Zune boy, and he defended his Zune tooth and nail. Everyone had an iPod, and he was like, no, Zune's where it's at. Zune is cool, and I'm cool. Rip. Anyway, I gotta actually close this out and go get ready to pick up the dog. This one, if you will. This here boy. This boyo. I gotta pick him up. So I'm gonna have to close this down so I can go get my buddy, and he's gonna be out of it. They had to sedate him, as far as I know. He's also gonna. I regret to inform you that they also, I believe, had to shave part of him, so he's gonna have he's gonna be a little patchy next time you see him. He's gonna be Patches the pirate dog, so we'll see. But I'm gonna go get the dog from the vet, give him extra pats for me. I absolutely will. Is he okay? I only got here like 15 minutes ago. He's okay. He had to be dropped off at the vet this morning for a cardio workup. They're looking in to make sure that his heart is able to hold all the love that he's gotten there. And the doctor said that it generally looks good, but there's, you know, one very minor cause for concern, but nothing is catastrophic right now, and hopefully we can, like, at worst, it's a matter of like get a little bit of medicine. Hopefully, we'll see. I'll update when I can. I'm gonna head out. That was weird. I'm gonna head out. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I will see you on Tuesday for another stream. Stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Other than that, I'll see you on Monday with the next episode of Stuff Keeps Happening. Be sure to follow on YouTube if you don't already. Turn on that bell or whatever, however that works. And if you want to keep hanging out, you can join the Astral Campground. That is my online community. We have a Discord server, a Mastodon server, a Minecraft SMP, all sorts of stuff. If you want to hang out and you like the vibes here in general, you should definitely join. Check out all that we've got to offer. I'm gonna head out. Take care. Be well. See ya.